Hello, my name is Damien McKillop. I'm a technical architect for Infobright, and we'll be going through just some information about the use of Infobright and Tableau and just how to further improve the performance within both of them. What I'll do is I'll give an overview of the Infobright technology, then I'll carry out some optimizations specifically to Infobright, and then some optimizations within Tableau or some rules within Tableau, particularly to do with the TDC file and some of the settings that are relevant. So firstly, we'll go through an overview of Infobright. And Infobright, as you may or may not know, is a columnar database designed to do analytics on large volumes of data, structured data. And it's very good at providing good query performance, particularly when you're doing ad hoc analysis. How it's able to do that is through the combination of a thing called a knowledge grid, which is made up of certain metadata about the data within the database. And how that's done is initially it breaks down the data into individual columns. Then it breaks the individual columns down into things that are called data packs. Data packs can contain up to 65,536 data elements. And this information is then compressed and metadata is taken out about each individual data pack. So it means the knowledge grid has information about every single column of every single table. And that is done as the data is loaded. So it means then there's no need for any creation of indexes or to partition your data. And it's immediately available for querying as soon as it's loaded. And the knowledge grid is automatically updated as data packs are created or updated. So it means then we have this set of information then to be used whenever any queries are carried out. So how is this of benefit? So we've got an example here where we're trying to just do a simple count of employees who earn more than 50,000 under the age of 65 but work in shipping in the city of Toronto. So the first thing I'll do is I'll find the data packs for the column salary where there's values greater than 50,000. And what we do is we look to see, do the data packs have values that match completely? Do the data packs have values that do not match at all? So that's the red. And do the data packs have some that match but not all? That would be the yellow. So then we do the same for the age column, and you can see in this case we've got two that have all values matching and two that some of the values match. If we do the same for shipping, and again it's two that are all of match and two or some match. With salary, three don't match at all, and then one matches completely. And then for the last one, for city, we have two where no values match and two where some of the values match. We also then have this concept of a pack row, so we can actually ignore those rows that have value or data packs where none of the values match. So in this case, the first, second, and fourth rows can be completely ignored. So in this example then, the only data pack that needs to be decompressed, because all the values don't match within it, is the city one. So in this case, we're able to greatly reduce the amount of disk activity compared to other columnar databases to be able to get the answer for the query in a much more efficient manner. Overall then, how do we improve performance and how do we utilize the Infobright technology to be able to get good performance? We create columns or create tables with lots of columns. We only use the columns that we absolutely need within the queries. We try to use subselects instead of joins. And what we avoid is trying to do select stars on wide columns or using views with many columns from different tables. So then what sort of optimizations can we apply that will help with the use of Tableau or any BI tool, but particularly Tableau? So whenever you're running your queries, do have some sort of constraint on the fact table directly. Now, that's where that's possible. So if the query is automatically generated, that's not always possible. But what you can do is try and get some of the settings to work on that. Do use subselects instead of joins. Try and have everything time-based where there's constraints applied. So you use a where clause for you're looking at the last hour, the last week, the last day, or whatever time range that you're after. And then don't be afraid to add in additional columns that will help with your queries. So additional columns that can be pre-calculated and that will help with any of the queries coming in. Make sure there's always a where clause that will further filter down your information, so it will improve the performance on your query. And then, where possible, reduce the number of joins. So in other words, try and denormalize your structure. So then, some optimizations that can be applied within Tableau, or some rules that can help within Tableau. Do not use context filters, because with context filters, what happens is Tableau will go back and try and copy the data using insert statements or select into statement into another table. And then as a result, this can, if it's doing this on a very large table, it can do it extremely slowly. Do use a TDC file with suggested settings, as you'll see further on. And where possible, use custom SQL for fixed reports. I know with Tableau, it's automatically able to generate SQL, which can, with custom SQL is not possible. But where possible, if you've got a fixed report, try and customize the SQL to improve the performance on the query. So what is a TDC file? A TDC file is a file that contains configuration settings for Tableau for specific databases to help with their idiosyncrasies or specific methodologies. It's located in the data sources directory. So an example there is in the program files, Tableau, Tableau server data. And then as you can see, it's TB, SVC, Viz, SQL server, and then data sources. And it really just helps improve the performance of whatever database has been chosen. There's TDC files for Vertigo, for Teradata, for MySQL, and you can create your own TDC files. So how do you do this? You literally create a text file with the extension .tdc, so you can call it whatever you wish. So in this case, we're going to call it IE_Postgres.tdc. You then have the following context. So you say that you've got XML version, encoding, UTF-8, then the fact that it's kind of the connection customization classes for Postgres, and we're using version 9.2. And then you'll have your vendor and driver, and then you'll have your customizations under there. And then you'd add in whatever settings that are useful for your implementation. So one particular useful one is this cap query having required by group by, which means that if you're putting in a query that has a having, there must be a group by involved. And that will allow the query to run very efficiently within Infobright. Here's a list of some of the settings that are very useful. So as you can see, like we have the having required by group by. The next one is for query where subqueries can be used. And this will definitely help with the creation of any SQL where there's joins involved. The fact that queries can be limited to return a certain number of values. So it's just a top. So this is where limit can definitely help. And then where you're trying to push down the conditions. So this is to really try and simplify the join as possible with to an on clause, which will make things considerably faster whenever it comes to writing your queries, especially if it's been done automatically by Tableau. And then query joins requiring subqueries will significantly improve performance. So as you can see, there's a series of settings here that will definitely help with the performance of Tableau. And for more information, please don't hesitate to contact Infobright. So an example of a TDC file is here, and I'll leave you this on the screen. But you can see it literally is just an XML version, and then you've got your customizations. If you've got multiple customizations, all you need to do is within the customizations area, just add in the extra components that you're after. So thank you very much for your time and for your patience, and good luck.